Coming up, get the forecast for the next 7 days in your weekly planner.
Legend has it that in 1875, John Rich of Woolwich introduced the buffalo plaid shirt, a name inspired by its creator's love for the big, burly animal. For over 165 years, Woolrich has been known for authentic, functional outdoor wear for men and women. Clothes that are perfect for whatever you like to do in the outdoors. Woolrich, the original outdoor clothing company.
Woolrich is available at specialty, outdoor, department, and sporting goods stores.
And we'll look at what's happening first with the jet stream and look at what else to expect over the next few days through this Easter weekend. We're seeing the jet bring a trough down into the southwest and continuing to keep moisture into portions of the southwest. We're going to see a succession of Pacific storms, a very slow-moving storm, continue to move across the region rather slowly throughout next week, and the jet keeping temperatures a little warmer into the south, a little cooler into the west and northwest, and some moisture there for today and to tomorrow. Now looking at what to expect more specifically. For Saturday, we're going to see scattered showers into the Pacific Northwest, going down into Southern California as a low-pressure cell in the front moves on shore. In advance of that, windy conditions, the southeast rather quiet Saturday and Sunday. Then by Sunday, the possibility of scattered strong storms into southwestern Minnesota, also into eastern South Dakota and into portions of western Iowa. And that from a low-pressure cell entering the Pacific Northwest today, actually Southern California today, should gather strength and get more moisture from the Gulf and become active Sunday, unfortunately, on Easter Sunday. By Monday, that system moves into Canada, quiets down, takes showers off into the north and parts of the Midwest, showers and moisture down the Mississippi River Valley, and another area of some unsettled weather, light showers, snow showers in the west again. By Tuesday, still scattered precip into the west, windy into the plains, a chance for showers from Cleveland, Ohio, some thunderstorms towards Louisville, Cincinnati, Nashville, and into northern Georgia. Showers along the eastern seaboard into the Piedmont region. The possibility for some showers and thunderstorms into the mid-south and deep south and southwest for next Wednesday. The west quiets down along the coast, snow showers into Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho for Wednesday. By Thursday, the west still stays quiet, possible snow into portions of Wyoming and Colorado. And a chance of rain into the northern Midwest, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the lower Midwest and into the south and the southeast, eastern seaboard, dry and warm. For next Friday, the forecast trend calls for another system to bring some scattered showers around Seattle and Portland. The rest of the west is quiet and warmer. We're looking for quiet into the plains, except for the Midwest, Illinois, Wisconsin, down into the southeast, Georgia and Alabama. Watch out for scattered showers and thunderstorms next Friday. Highs today, 80s along the Rio Grande into Texas, and some 70s also in the Lone Star State into the plains. And we're seeing a southerly flow bring warmer temperatures for Saturday all the way up into southern Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester near 70, 80s into western Kansas. For Easter Sunday, we still see that southerly flow bring those warmer temperatures up almost the U.S.-Canadian border for Easter Sunday. The west stays chilly, the east a little bit warmer, and the northeast a little cooler into the 50s. For Monday, we're looking for temperatures to be into, well, they're not changing there. They should be changing. Am I hitting the wrong button here? Well, they're not changing. We're looking for pretty much the same pattern to stay in effect. We will see the warmer temperatures in the south. It changed. Now we're on Monday. Warmer temperatures still into the south and southwest. The west itself staying rather chilly through next week, also after the big holiday. By Tuesday, still 80s into Texas, the west, Intermountain West into the 30s, northern tier, the 50s, and even the 40s around Duluth and Superior, around Lake Superior. Wednesday, 30s into the Intermountain region again, 80s along the Gulf Coast, so warm for southern Georgia, southern Alabama, and Biloxi, Mississippi, over towards New Orleans. The lows tomorrow, 30s into the northern tier, 40s into the midsection, 50s into Texas and parts of southern Florida. The lows for Saturday, we're looking for them to be still rather chilly into the northern tier. Chilly highs, chilly lows. For Monday, more of the western portion, still even colder, 20s and 30s into the mountains, 50s into the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys, and 30s into the east. Tuesday, 30s again into the west, 40s into the plains, and Wednesday, we're looking for those lows into the 40s again along the Great Lakes states and into portions of the east. The weekend outlook, what to expect for this Easter weekend into the west, chilly with scattered showers and possible thunderstorms in the
structure to the north, another one forming to the south, and that will bring the rain back into Southern California tomorrow. And because of the cold air in the upper atmosphere, that may trigger a few thunderstorms as well. It doesn't look like severe weather. It doesn't even look like heavy rain. This one doesn't have that tropical connection from the southern branch of the jet stream, so it looks like we're in good shape for light rain or light snow. Nice weather, even better. Texas looking good. Through the south, our front is all the way down into Florida. There's no rain until you get into North Carolina. Wish you could say there's no clouds, but we do still have those around. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of low clouds through Tennessee and Georgia and down into Alabama that have been kind of following our trough. This is a close-up of North Georgia and high-resolution satellite picture. You can see a little break here. Looks like Athens should be seeing some sun. Augusta for the Masters is over in this area. Little sun between clouds, and you can also pick out, see, we have kind of bands of clouds like this being generated as the wind comes across the mountains and produces those bands of clouds with a few breaks in between, but fortunately no rain out of these. So that's what we want to see. As a matter of fact, what we want to see even more is probably a few more breaks in those clouds, and we might get into that as we go into the weekend. Here it is, the extent of it about back to Nashville. This will swing through and out, and then we'll get into clear skies and slightly warmer temperatures Saturday, Sunday better yet. And then as you go back to work on Monday, yeah, it's going to be much, much nicer. Wouldn't you like to see that? Showers across southern Virginia and into North Carolina. Here's our main low. This was the storm producer. It's out over the open water now. Still some strong winds around it that are buffeting Boston and Cape Cod. Lighter winds today across New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Still some minor flooding problems well after the heavier rain has ended. Those should subside over the next couple of days as we keep the dry weather. The only rain to be found again on Interstate 95 as you head down across Virginia, well south of Washington, D.C., and now south of Richmond, and just about to move out of the Williamsburg, Newport News area. Still rain around the Raleigh-Durham area. As this pivots out this evening, that ought to set us up for a dry Friday evening and even better Saturday and Sunday. So there it is all put together. Again, light rain, little snow in the northwest, just a smidge of rain in the mid-Atlantic, and plenty of high pressure and nice weather in between. Underneath our ridge here in the plains, it's mild today and it'll be warmer yet tomorrow. Kansas City 62. You ought to get into the 70s. Tomorrow in Chicago you're sitting at 55, and we think you'll end up in the 60s. Wind chill's still a little bit of a problem in the northeast. It's gusty, feels like 35 in Boston. Stick with us and we'll talk about what's coming up for the weekend, and hopefully you'll like the changes.
As the rain moves out, the wind moves into New England. We'll tell you what to expect there and across the country on Weather Center, following your local forecast.
When it comes to building a comfortable home, you certainly have your options. But making your home feel as good as it looks requires an essential. Ask for Tyvek Home Wrap from DuPont. It helps keep weather out, comfort in, and that's basic to better building.
Tyvek House Wrap, made by DuPont.
Today we study the enemy, the humanoids after us,
Outsmart the bugs with Terminix. We'll be there when you need us.
and the most dangerous Terminix eradicate us.
Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassles.
People come here seeking the secrets of lawn and garden care. They ask if it is the wisdom of the Orient. I say no, it is the wisdom of the experts. See, we always turn to smart solutions from the lawn and garden experts. Now, if they could only help with the meaning of life. The lawn and garden experts. Call today for the retailer near you.
Looking for luxury? Take the alternate route. I'm the Millennia by Mazda. Let's go for a drive. We'll drive a road less traveled, where the scenery's on the inside and the only sound is your soundtrack. I'll hug the curves away. I'll fly over the rough spots. I'm one luxury car that won't get lost in traffic. Let's go for a drive.
Visit your Mazda dealer and lease the Millennia for just $349 a month.
Cake. But I'd need the mix.
It's in the box.
The frosting?
It's in the box.
The pan?
It's in the box. Give in to Betty Crocker's easiest mixes. New Stir and Bake. Just add water.
Oh, yeah.
When a weather disaster strikes, someone's always there to help. The Weather Channel and the American Red Cross urge you to help families in need of disaster relief. Because of you, someone will always be there.
Whatever we can do to help, we will do everything possible.
Weather can change in an instant. Stay informed. Be prepared at weather.com. The most extensive severe weather coverage on the internet. From the Weather Channel's computers, straight to yours. In the next half hour, Weather Center gives you a comprehensive national forecast. At 10 after, it's today's travel trouble spots and international weather. At 20 after, get the forecast for the next 7 days in the Weekly Planner. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Thanks for joining us today. Jill Brown and Myke Motley with you, going into a quieter holiday weekend after some rough stuff lately.
Things are looking very quiet for much of the country today. A little rain into parts of the west and a little chilly in the northeast, but improving weather conditions for much of the country on Easter Sunday.
That's right. We'll tell you all about it. We'll get to that forecast in a moment. Let's start you off with the chill, and you felt that in Boston this morning. You may have even seen a few flakes of snow. Had some reports that rain and snow mixed, fell briefly. It's a little warmer than that now, but these gusty winds that you can see are still going to be blowing through the afternoon, and that gave us wind chills in the 20s. Boy, that guy looks miserable. And now they've come up just a little bit, so it's going to be a slow improvement, but it will look better over the weekend. At least the sun's shining, right? Give you a sense that spring will come. We do have the clouds still hanging in there around Delaware, and they're breaking up a little bit in Virginia and back into West Virginia. We still have cloudy skies. Clear and dry, nice change of pace. There might be some minor flooding problems that still exist around rivers and streams where the runoff is still collecting from 2 days of heavy rain. But we'd have more than 2 days of dry weather to get things back to normal, so that's a good thing. 47 in Boston. That doesn't sound too far out of the norm for this time of year. Problem is it's so windy, it makes it feel like 35. The wind chill's in the 20s in Burlington, and feels like freezing in Rochester. We don't have any more snow in the forecast. However, we do have a cold night ahead with clear skies, and those winds have been dying down as you get out of New England. There are lighter winds, so all of the heat that collects today will radiate out tonight, and freeze warnings are in effect across Ohio, and it looks like around the Erie, Crawford County area in Pennsylvania, and frost advisories farther south. Even in New York State, some of the local National Weather Service offices were talking about fruit trees could be in danger tonight if yours have budded, and if you have the opportunity to do something to keep it warm tonight, that might be a good idea. It's going to be definitely chilly tomorrow morning and maybe Sunday morning too. We'll keep the forecast fine-tuned for you, so stick around for that. Yes, windy conditions close to the low. As that moves away, it's going to get a little bit better. Hopefully this evening the winds will start to die down, but definitely a gusty day from Providence to Boston. Farther south, we have the last bits of rain. Our front is way out here. This is the area of low pressure. This is the front that caused all the problems yesterday. It has gone away, but we're trailing a trough of low pressure, still a little unsettled. This is rain, though, and we don't have any thunderstorms to tell you about today. Cape Hatteras, look out, here it comes. Raleigh, maybe a couple more hours. It's trying to pivot out. It ended in Roanoke. Should be dry for your drive on Interstate 81. It looks nice and dry back toward Knoxville and Atlanta. Unfortunately, it's not a sunny day, not yet, but you're looking at a high-resolution satellite picture from GOES 10, courtesy of NESDES in Washington, D.C., and we thank them for that, and a little bit of sun that we can see. It looks like coming into Athens, and we might get a few breaks around Augusta for the Masters. We'll be talking about that forecast coming up here shortly. Clouds still hanging tough with just a few breaks. Backing out, you can see that the end of the clouds are in basically Nashville, Louisville already in the sun. So as this whole area pivots out, we'll get back to basically full sun for tomorrow. Nice, sunny, but still cool Saturday. We have this trough of low pressure with our jet stream, and it's going to keep bringing the north winds in and keep it kind of cool through Saturday. It gets a little bit better Sunday, and then a little bit better than that on Monday. So at least we're heading back in the right direction, and the rain is on the way out. So we'll talk about some nice weekend weather coming up in a minute. Mike?
And what else is happening around the country? We're seeing temperatures that are on the chilly side into the west and some scattered storms here in the Pacific Northwest as the system moves onshore. Let's take you out to the west and show you the temperatures first. It's a little chilly out in the northwestern corner. We're into the 40s and 50s. Seattle at 49, also 49 in Portland, Medford, Oregon at 46. We're into the 60s in Southern California, 68 at Los Angeles, 63 at San Diego. But moving a little bit further inland, Las Vegas at 70 and 79 at Phoenix, and into the 80s down towards Yuma, so warmer into the southwestern corner of Arizona. The western surface map is pretty quiet. We do have frontal boundary and low pressure cell feeding some moisture into the west, and that system will continue to move onshore and bring a chance for some thunderstorms around Spokane later on this afternoon, tonight into tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms there towards Yakima and Walla Walla in Washington, and scattered rain and snow showers into the west. Pacific
Alabama tornado damage by air this morning.
So look out for that. Let's take a look at the details of that forecast, though. Into Wednesday we go, and as I mentioned, we are going to see some unsettled weather here. Windy conditions for a lot of folks in the plain states while we head eastward. It's going to be thunderstorms that you'll have to deal with here in Illinois and Indiana, back into southeastern Missouri. So more rough weather for you. In the west, some of the mountains dealing with snow. Thursday, watching this system continue to push on eastward. Now to the north and west of our low, this is where you'll be dealing with the rain, with the windy conditions, maybe some areas even getting some snow, while we go to this region, and scattered strong storms are a possibility. Look out from the deep south all the way back into Ohio and Indiana. It may be a rough day for you. We'll have to watch out for volatile weather. Just stay tuned to the Weather Channel, and we'll continue to keep you updated here. And towards the East Coast, you'll have some showers and maybe some storms too, but we're thinking the best chance for strong storms right in here. So we'll be watching that for you, and we'll watch that system as it continues to push on eastward, and that's going to mean rain up and down the East Coast with the chance for some thunderstorms mixed in too. Now most of the western half of the country pretty quiet. We do have a few exceptions here, but for the most part you're dealing with a much more tranquil scenario. Take a look at that Saturday forecast. As I mentioned, here in Texas, things may not be so nice for you, and along the Gulf Coast, showers and storms, although the majority of the country is really going to be pretty quiet here. through the central states and through much of the western U.S. We can't rule out the possibility of a few scattered showers around Portland and around Seattle. On into Sunday we go, and the southeast still got the chance for thunderstorms here for you. Look out from the Carolinas back to the Gulf Coast. Now the trend as we head into the beginning of next week shows that we may have some wet weather along the east coast, while in the west a chance of showers for you, although the trend right now is looking to be a fairly tranquil scenario for a lot of the country. We'll look out for that chance of wet weather to push on eastward and up and down the east coast. Look out maybe in Florida. And again, we'll continue to fine-tune this forecast as we head through time, so keep checking in with us and we'll keep you updated. Here are those high temperatures on Wednesday. Unseasonably cool temperatures for you in the western states, but in the east it's going to be nice and mild with 70s all the way up into the Ohio Valley. And on into Thursday we go. More of the same. Finally, by Friday, things beginning to moderate somewhat, warming up in the west, and we see fewer and fewer 40s for highs across the country Friday and on into Saturday. A lot of folks dealing with some warm weather, although not quite as warm as we would typically expect to see across the southeastern U.S., but still can't complain about temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Lows are mild in the southeast for your Wednesday, and again that trend will continue as we head through the coming days. It's really going to be coolest in the western U.S., although we may have a brief cool down in the east on into Saturday. And here's that forecast for Sunday. Well, it's time now for our weekend outlook for a couple of days into the work week, and we're making plans for the weekend. What's in store? Well, the temperatures, again, not looking so bad out there. Again, it's a little cooler than we would typically expect to see at this time of year across the southeastern U.S., but nothing unbearably cold in store for you. As far as precipitation, we'll be dealing with that along the Gulf Coast, showers and storms. If you have plans outdoors, keep that in mind. It may not be the nicest day for that, but for the vast majority of the country, things are looking pretty quiet right now. On into Sunday we go. Continued mild temperatures, but continued not quite as mild as we would expect to see in the southeast at this time of year, and it's going to be stormy as well. So showers and thunderstorms may put a damper on those weekend plans. Let's take a look at some highlights. The PGA Seniors Championship, Palm Beach Gardens, a high of 81, but scattered thunderstorms may be a bit of a problem. In Phoenix for the Winston West Series NASCAR, 79 your high under sunny skies. And here we go into South Carolina. Stay tuned. Weather Center's coming up next.
Our experts are monitoring storms threatening the Great Plains. Get the potential impact and be prepared. Watch Weather Center after your local forecast.
I'm king of the lawn, lord of all I survey. Look at the king's lawn.
Hey, King, how about getting to those gutters?
Greenview's two-way green power kills weeds and fertilizes for a lawn you'll be darn proud of.
Mine, all mine.
Hey.
When you want to stand out, nothing demands attention like posted flags. Posted flags help you sort, file, organize, and highlight what's important. Posted flags.
This beautiful little girl is Michelle. She lives overseas with her family in this horrible slum. Michelle must walk these rocky, filthy streets barefoot because her family is so poor they can't even afford a pair of shoes. Hello, I'm Walter Coppage for Children International. Please, call the number on your screen now. We'll send you this free, no-obligation information kit with a photo and family history of a little boy or girl who needs you. You'll learn how you can give one special child overseas, like Michelle, a pair of shoes, and so much more. Then if you decide to become a sponsor, your monthly gift is only $12. Your $12 will provide medical care, clothing, food, a chance to go to school, and more. But remember, there is no obligation, and the information kit is absolutely free. So please, call now. Call 1-800-652-4545. That's 1-800-652-4545.
Hey.
Hey.
You know, I'm curious, when you power into a tight corner, does your beamer track G-loads, braking history, and regardless of throttle position, automatically downshift for more control?
I don't think so.
Maybe you should check your manual.
The all-new Seville STS with the North Star system. Racing-inspired shift control, the convenience of an automatic. It's not just new, it's what's next.
Braking history. It's not in there.
The all-new Seville STS. It's what's next.
Looking for something exciting on TV tonight? Something with power, with passion.
Weather is passionate, if you think about it.
Insight, drama.
There's a mystery and awe to it all.
Something that tells you about the whys and wonders.
All this atmospheric energy.
The big stories.
It's exciting to watch.
And what it all means to you.
You can't help but just say, wow.
Drama, passion, suspense, tropospheric undulations. Every night on Weather Center PM.
In the next half hour, Weather Center PM, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center PM continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
In. It's been a wet day for many areas in the east. Rain fell from the Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes. Let's take a look at where that wet weather is right now. And of course, Myke told you all about the storminess through the central states. And Jeff is going to have more on the western U.S., but in the east, that's where we're going to focus in. And with the northeastern U.S., what you're dealing with is rain, and you've even got a few storms mixed in here, especially into Pennsylvania. Some of these storms have even been severe, so watch out for that. Sort of a rough, murky night for you here through New York State on into Pennsylvania. The wet weather continues as this front sweeps through the region. Right now, where you're getting the rain, well, from Buffalo back to around the Pittsburgh area. Look out also around Binghamton. Some of this will be eventually headed your way. It looks like a bit of a break for Philadelphia, but up towards New York City, maybe some showers for you, but most of the heavier rain seems to be here to the south, moving out over the open waters of the Atlantic. But here to the north, more rain and all this pushing on off to the east, so you'll want to watch out if you live anywhere east of this area of rain for some soggy conditions tonight. Slippery roadways out there, and this is the area that we will be focusing in on. Best chance for wet weather, Pennsylvania, New York State, and on into southern New England. We're also dealing with some wet weather in the southeastern U.S., and you've had some storms mixed in too in Alabama and into central Georgia. Right now pretty quiet in Atlanta, but to the south dealing with some wet weather here over into southern South Carolina. And again, you can see that on the radar here from Macon southward. That's where most of the wet weather is along I-16 there. And then as you travel southward, perhaps towards Tifton or eventually down towards Valdosta, and just to the south of Charleston, the rain continues for you. So look out, wet weather possible throughout the southeast, and keep in mind that for some areas there will be some thunderstorms mixed in too. What about the western U.S., Jeff?
All right, Kristina, well, let's go ahead and talk about the west. Very unsettled, primarily, or basically what you have here is a big pocket of colder air aloft, and then you get strong solar heating, the strong April sunshine, and you get warm air at the surface, you get cold air aloft. That's not the way the atmosphere wants to be. It wants to be the other way around. And in the process of mixing and overturning, you bubble up these showers. And in the higher elevations, it's cold enough for some snow. Snow scattered all the way from central Colorado all the way up into the Bitterroots between Idaho and Montana. Scattered rain showers anywhere from just south of Seattle down along I-5. kind of a showery drive on I-5 right now through the Willamette Valley and all the way into central and northern California. Even some rain showers here along the 5 in parts of southern California, just west of Fresno and not too far away from LA, just north of LA. Also some rain showers, well, they're kind of disappearing off our screen, but they're still there just north of the Vegas vicinity. There are the rain showers south of Seattle and some snow up into the Cascades. So if you're driving up through the passes, you might encounter a little bit of snow. Rain showers around Denver, but Salt Lake City saw some snow today mixed with rain at times on the valley floor. Here's some pictures to show you. They actually had the plows out. Yeah, there was a dusting of snow on tops of the cars and up into the benches. It may have even accumulated a little bit off the paved surfaces. Typical high this time of the year in Salt Lake City, about 60 degrees or so. So these readings were running some 20 to 25 degrees below average. Doesn't feel very much like springtime there for the time being, and nor will it warm up much in the immediate future. There's the rain showers to the north and snow in the mountains up in Montana. 43 at Cutbank was the high. It's currently 39 there, 38 at Salt Lake, and only 57 in LA. Let's go out to Myke now and talk about the potential for more severe weather tomorrow. Myke?
And Jeff, we've got severe weather tonight, but tomorrow will be another unfortunately dangerous day in parts of the Ohio Valley. Let's show you the setup and the ingredients which are causing the severe weather. And generally we obviously have to have some moisture, and we're getting that from the lower levels from the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about a rich supply of high dew point air. Remember, dew point measures the moisture at the surface, and that low level jet is scooping it up and bringing it north up through the Mississippi Valley into the Ohio River Valley. Also, we've got this cold front impacting you tonight in the plains. It will continue to move east overnight tonight and tomorrow. That lifts up the warm humid air, and then you throw in this jet stream with winds roaring at some 150 miles an hour. That purple area is where we have the highest winds. We call that the jet streak in meteorology. So we put all the ingredients together. This is how we make our forecast. You throw the front in there, the moisture coming up, the jet stream coming over that front, and you get the greatest risk of severe weather there in the middle of the country, Indianapolis, over towards Peoria, down towards Memphis, and over towards Louisville, Lexington. This area is certainly going to be primed for some dangerous weather tomorrow. And of course, you can always count on the Weather Channel to keep you updated. Now let's get the update on the rest of the forecast. Back in the studio, here's Kristina.
All right, Mike, here we go into the northeast. Showers as you start the day in New York, back to Syracuse. Temperatures near 50 degrees. To the south, rain and even some thunderstorms around. Look out around Memphis for that. 56 to start your day. In Atlanta, northward we go. Storms for St. Louis at 58. And finally, to the west, we'll be dealing with rain for some folks. LA, San Diego, take the umbrella. You are going to need it as you head out the morning. Maybe a little bit of a messy commute for you. And some of the mountains in the west will be dealing with some snow.
Well, just ahead, an update on weather that could make you change your travel plans.
Stay with us for Travelwise coming up right after the break.
Stay with us.
This program was sponsored by the nice people at Red Roof Inns, over 260 locations nationwide, offering honest value every day.
Who always greets you warmly and asks so little in return? The folks at Red Roof Inns. A genuine smile, a clean, comfortable room, and a great rate. Dogs have no concept of money, no pockets. Red Roof Inns, nice people, and an honest value.
Red Roof Inns, nice people and an honest value.
If you own country property, tractors with brush cutters are fine for clearing big fields, but for smaller meadows, pastures, and woodlots, they're just too big and expensive. But look, the amazing self-propelled DR field and brush mower can go where tractors can't. It's perfect for clearing meadows and pastures, cutting trails and walking paths, and for maneuvering around trees in woodlots. Plus, the DR can handle slopes too steep and dangerous for riding equipment. So picture yourself with a DR at your place. Clear tall grass and brush right up to a fence line. Cut brambles, brush, and saplings up to 1 inch thick. Keep your banks, ditches, and roadsides mowed and looking great the easy DR way.
Call toll-free 1-800-859-1818 for your big free package all about the amazing DR field and brush mower. That's 1-800-859-1818 for free DR details.
right, let's update those travel conditions for you out there. Starting out with airport arrival delays and 30-minute delay for Atlanta, not reporting any other delays at any of the major airports. Travel problems, they are around in several areas across the country. First of all, into the northeastern U.S. You've got this low and front moving through the northeast, and with that, dealing with some rain, and you've also had some storms mixed in parts of Pennsylvania. Wet weather with some storms through the deep south into Georgia and over into Alabama. We've got quite a storm system here dealing with the potential for a bit of severe weather. As a matter of fact, the potential for tornadoes, and then westward we go, scattered rain with some mountain snows. But here are those watches, tornado watches. That means you have the potential for severe storms, which could produce large hail, heavy amounts of rain, and also the potential that some of these storms could spawn tornadoes. So of course, this area right in here, our travel trouble spot. Look out, severe storms have been reported in some of these areas, and there is certainly the potential for more severe weather. Wet weather, of course, in the northeastern U.S. as well as here through the central states. Some snow for the mountains in the west. Region by region, the northeast, wet weather for a few areas here into the afternoon. Showers still around in New York City. Here's where you can expect slippery roadways in the southeast. Atlanta, maybe some afternoon or evening thunderstorms in your forecast. Rain well to the north here, a possibility, as well as some storms. Chicago, St. Louis as we head through the day, Cincinnati too. And finally to the west, rain with mountain snows. And here's how things are shaping up for the afternoon. Well, stay tuned. Coming up next, we will take a look at your forecast for the weekend. Don't go away.
Looking towards the weekend? We are too on Weekend Outlook ahead.
If you're going across the country, although in the southeastern U.S. not quite as warm as we would typically expect to see at this time of year. In the west, nice and toasty for you. We will have some rain and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast states Saturday. Sunday, more of the same. Temperatures not changing a great deal, and the southeast still looking for the chance for some storms here. Scattered showers northern New England, and maybe some unsettled weather in the western U.S. But most folks dealing with pretty quiet conditions. Some highlights for the weekend: the PGA Seniors Championship in Palm Beach Gardens. High of 81, but unfortunately there may be some scattered thunderstorms around for you. The Winston West Series NASCAR in Phoenix, Arizona. High of 79 under sunny skies, looking very nice indeed. But for Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, the LPGA golf tournament there, maybe some thunderstorms around, and that's not some good news for you. One final golf tournament, Hilton Head, South Carolina, the MCI Classic. High of 74, thunderstorms for you on Sunday. Mixed in too in parts of Georgia and Alabama, and then westward we go. Rain for you, California, into Oregon and Washington, but also snow for some of the mountains here. Your temperatures, you can see quite a contrast there in those temperatures. Pretty cool behind the system, but we're dealing with some pretty warm and pretty moist air here. Dew points in the 50s and 60s, so we're dealing with some moisture in place, and with that you are dealing with some rain and some thunderstorms across not only the southeastern U.S. but also right in here, and this is where those big-time storms are rumbling, the ones that have the potential to be severe, that have the potential to produce tornadoes. And this is our travel trouble spot, our problem area tonight that we are highlighting for rough weather, especially anywhere you see in red. Watch out, you could be dealing with some very nasty storms. And we do have several tornado watches in effect. They're lined up from southwestern Iowa back through western Missouri all the way back into extreme northern Texas. Look out for severe storms which could produce large hail, damaging winds, of course lightning, and heavy amounts of rain, but these storms also have the potential to produce tornadoes. A look at the radar shows what all the fuss is about, and you can see where the reds and the yellows are. That's where some of the more intense storms are occurring right now. And with this storm right here in Andrews County, a tornado warning is in effect for you. So this certainly means business, and you will certainly want to take these storms very seriously. Another perspective here just north of St. Joseph. Watch out for this one. A tornado warning in effect in Andrews County for that. And we see other cells to the south, other storms, so watch out. There is definitely some rough weather around. The southern extent of that, again, we see some of the worst of it here. Look out around Wichita perhaps, back through Oklahoma, and again, just another perspective on those storms here You can see the bright white clouds underneath those clouds. That's where we're dealing with the rain and the storms, but you've also had that to deal with across Alabama and into Georgia, and some fairly substantial amounts of rain have fallen here. This is a radar estimate of the precipitation that you've been dealing with, and south of Atlanta back towards Macon and then to the north and east of Montgomery, reports of estimates of 3 to over 4 inches of rain there. So again, some pretty substantial rains have fallen for you and still falling here south of I-16, south of Macon, along I-75 here, extending back towards Montgomery. We are dealing with the wet weather. All clear in Atlanta for the moment. To the south, though, again, south of Macon, over towards Columbus. That's where the worst of it is right now. Over towards Savannah, you too getting on the wet weather. Generally Savannah and just to the south of Charleston. That's where the wet weather is occurring for you. So not a nice drive for you along I-16. And look out Waycross, look out Albany. This may be headed your way. As we head on into the extended, at least into tomorrow, beyond noon on Wednesday, we're still expecting the chance for thunderstorms here. Some of these could be severe from the deep south on northward to the southern lakes region. Look out for the potential for severe weather. So it's certainly not going to be over today. We'll be dealing with this on into tomorrow too. Westward, a quick check of what you're dealing with. Some scattered rain here up and down the west coast, and you'll want to stay tuned because coming up next on Weather Center, we'll have more on the storms and more on the west. Don't go away.
Heavy rain wreaks havoc on roads as it pounds. This is Cincinnati's first and only 10 o'clock news.
That's what you'll have to deal with this evening, but things are looking better for some folks, at least as we head through time. Looks like things will be improving for you in San Francisco and in LA perhaps as well. Snow continues to fall though for parts of Wyoming and into Colorado. But here in Southern California, scattered rain for you from around Santa Barbara on northward into Sacramento. You've had a bit of a soggy night here and around the San Francisco Bay Area, scattered showers around. But as I mentioned, some of the higher elevations are dealing with snow, and you've had sort of a messy day as we head over towards Salt Lake City. Some wintry precipitation there, just a bit of a mess. It's not been a pleasant day to be out and about here. You've had snow or rain or a mix of both most of the day. A snow advisory is in effect through midnight in the Wasatch. Temperatures have been in the middle 30s. Well, to the north we go. You too have got some soggy weather to deal with here from Seattle back to Portland. Scattered showers around, and this is what we're expecting through noon on Wednesday. Wet weather for all the areas in green, but we will also see snow for some of the mountains, and these are the amounts we're expecting. We may see half a foot or more for some folks through the Sierra, generally 3 to 6 inches of snow for you. Well, we've got some severe weather to talk about. It's moving to the east, and for more on that, we head back to Myke Seidel.
And Kristina, severe weather tonight, but we're also concerned with your forecast for Wednesday. I want to give you a heads up on what's in store for the middle of the week, and if you're traveling into the middle of the country, we've got more dangerous storms on the way. Same system causing the problems tonight in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri will be moving east. Let's show you what's setting up the situation for this, what we term significant severe weather threat on Wednesday. Low-level winds coming out of the Gulf, bringing in a lot of moisture and humidity, which is something obviously which is a necessary ingredient for storms. For it to rain, you've got to have moisture. The cold front continues its eastward trek in towards the Mississippi River Valley. The front acts as a lifting mechanism. You throw the jet stream right over that front, and this is what we call the jet streak. The winds there upwards of 150 to 160 miles per hour. A very strong jet stream, and all those ingredients coming together with the front and the jet stream coming in and the low-level winds. By the way, the winds at different directions at different heights in the atmosphere. That's what we call directional wind shear, and that is one of the precursors for severe weather. So watch out from Peoria, Indianapolis, back towards Cincinnati, down towards Memphis, and over towards St. Louis tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Reiterating, this evening we have a tornado possibly on the ground. We had one in Andrew County, now in DeKalb County in Missouri. This is north and east of the St. Joseph area. A tornado warning lookout around the Maysville area. And down the road, the same cell is moving east across I-35 into Davies County. There could be a tornado warning issued for that county momentarily. Now let's get the rest of the forecast back into.
Or is that a rush?
No, actually, this is something in between.
You know, throughout the day here of different areas of damage. We have reports that a farmer's market building adjacent to the station here had the roof blown off. A lot of power lines down. Our parking lot here is peppered with cars that have had the windshields just blown out. We're hearing that there are a lot of buildings that have either roof damage or bricks knocked off, chimneys overturned, that kind of thing. So it's coming in. I'm sure we're going to be getting reports through the evening, and from what I understand, the storm system is not over yet.
That's right. As a matter of fact, Davidson County now has a new tornado warning in effect. One more question I want to ask you. You had mentioned earlier of possible injuries. Did you hear any more about that?
We have crews. Actually, I've been kind of away from the fray here for the last few minutes. We do have crews staked out at various hospitals, and I understand that at some of them ambulances are pretty much lined up there. Now, I don't know if all the injuries are I don't know the extent of the injuries at all. I wouldn't want to speculate on that. But, yeah, we are hearing that there are some injuries, which, looking at the damage, I would expect there would be.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan Nyland. We'll continue to update you on conditions in Nashville, and we have more tornado warnings. We're going to be checking all of the radars through the area. Stay tuned.
The bar, all I could see was the side of the painting coming off the hard rock. And then as I was coming on around, I could look over at the stadium, and the wood that's on the stadium there, it was just tossing around like popsicle sticks.
Now, we have a lot of video of this area. We're at First and Broadway at Riverfront right now. Let's go ahead and see if we can run some of the video and continue talking over it so our viewers can see the destruction for themselves. Rodney, what did everyone do? Obviously, nobody in your restaurant was hurt, right?
No, we pretty much all ran to the back of the building. Like I say, I mean, we could look out and just see it twisting the awnings around. Our patio, the tables were just literally lifting up and thrown all over into a corner. It was pretty rough. Pretty much people were just running for cover.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Never. I'm born and raised here. I've never, ever seen anything this close to us.
Now, did you guys have any warning? We have been on air all day today, and obviously in some restaurants you don't have the radio on and you don't have the TV on. Did you know this was coming?
Well, fortunately, we did have TVs, and we could see that it was coming, but we didn't think it was going to be that close until the wind started picking up and we started seeing things fly down the street. So it was pretty rough.
Rodney, immediately after it happened, describe for us what people were doing. We're assuming there are injuries down here because fire trucks are trying to get through the traffic right now, which let me take this opportunity to say, folks, if you don't have to be down here, please don't, because the emergency crews need to get through.
One quick piece of information, Brett. Hardin County, a tornado warning now in effect for Hardin County. Go right ahead with what you're detailing as you see some of the damage down there. We wanted to get that in for the folks in Hardin County. Tornado warning now in effect.
Brett,
okay,
what
great.
you're saying
Thanks,
about not needing to go downtown, for that matter, all around our area, it doesn't take a tornado to knock down power lines and trees and cause other kinds of problems. So if folks don't need to go out, let's keep them home.
That's great advice. And let me tell you, I actually had to run 2 miles to get down here because the traffic is so backed up. So take it from someone who knows firsthand, avoid the area at all costs. I'm going to go back to Rodney since you did see it. Rodney, I was asking you, how did people react after the tornado hit down here?
I think it was pretty much like a sigh of relief, hoping that, people were okay. I know my first thought was, oh God, I have a tree in the middle of my house. But I think it was pretty much just a sigh of relief that no one was hurt or nothing caved in on us.
Brett, we're getting reports from across the river where you are over in East Nashville. There's now golf ball size hail falling, which is not far from where you are. You can see the stadium there, but just past that in East Nashville, golf ball size hail.
I'm going to ask Fred to go ahead and zoom past so you can see the weather right now. I'm going to describe it. A lot of rain is falling in this area. A lot of rain. Again, we're seeing a lot of activity down here, a lot of flashing lights and a lot of stuff going on. There's also some activity in Hermitage, and I understand. Davis Nolan, are you on the phone? Can you describe for us what's happening in the Hermitage area?
The Hermitage area right now, Brad, and I just passed along Lebanon Road between Chutes Branch and Andrew Jackson Parkway. There's extensive damage right especially near the Tulip Grove Mansion. All those beautiful trees that are around the Tulip Grove Mansion, more than 2/3 of them are snapped off, some of them less than halfway up the tree. Huge trees snapped off right near Tulip Grove Mansion. And really between Old Hickory Boulevard, along Lebanon Road, all the way up to the Andrew Jackson Parkway area. Extensive damage across that area. We noticed the Blockbuster video there was damaged. Also, the Taco Bell was damaged in that area. Also, the BP station at the corner of Andrew Jackson Parkway and Lebanon Road, I noticed some damage there as well. But really looking up towards that Tulip Grove Mansion, all those trees seeing huge trees like that snap. Obviously, the same tornado that we were watching on our city cam on downtown Nashville kept on moving on towards the east through Hermitage and caused pretty extensive damage along Lebanon Road, especially between Old Hickory Boulevard and around Andrew Jackson Parkway. And even right now, I'm up near I-40. The rain has been coming down pretty heavily, and visibility under 1/8 of a mile, and there was some marble-sized hail in the Mount Juliet area that I witnessed earlier as well.
That's Woodland. Davis, over in East Nashville, we are now getting reports at 5th and Woodland. An older church, St. Anne's Episcopal Church, virtually destroyed by the tornado that roared through that area in East Nashville, 5th and Woodland. Let's go back to Brett at Riverfront Park.
Well, let me tell you right now, you're hearing a loud noise. That is the thermal plant. That is normal. It has nothing to do with the tornado. But let's take a live picture down Broadway right now where the activity is. Several cars are stopped, and a lot of rescue units are out there trying to do their job. Unfortunately, there are a lot of sightseers out here, a lot of people coming down to check it out firsthand. Folks, we're not done with the storms. You don't want to be down here right now, so please stay away. I'm going to bring Rodney back in here. He's kind of my assistant today because he actually saw all this happen. Rodney, tell me what you're seeing right now.
I can't even hear you, the thermal. Just basically, and I just remembered this tree over here snapping like a little twig over in front of the Hard Rock over here. I still can't get over just how much actually came down the top of the building here.
Now, you were telling me a moment ago, I know we're getting a little tangled in wires, but to this area down here, just to, I believe it's the east of us, right behind your restaurant, there was a building that came crashing down on a series of cars. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. I was in the building by then, but we did check it out afterwards. There's a row of cars that are just absolutely destroyed. And then bricks, just flying bricks took out a lot of windows in a lot of the other cars. But it's pretty rough back there as well.
All right, Rodney Stanford, thank you very much for your help. Bob, we're going to go and get out and try to get some more eyewitnesses and find out what's happening right now about injuries and things of that nature. Lisa Patton, can you tell us what's going on right now with the storm track?
You are watching live coverage from a Nashville, Tennessee television station as we are looking at all kinds of destruction from a number of tornadoes that have ripped through Tennessee, and specifically speaking in the downtown area. I'm now told Tennessee authorities now estimate about 100 people have been hurt after a tornado hit the downtown area, and the governor has declared Nashville a disaster area. Want to go over the points of interest where we have the tornado watches in effect as well as a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. I guess we're not going to be able to go to that. So stay with us. Still to come, we're going to be updating you on the tornado watches and warnings as they affect folks across the southeast. Storm watch is coming up next.
This program was sponsored by the new Zip Built-in Drive from iOmega. Get one for your next computer.
I need more people out here. This is a big bird.
35,000 cubic feet of storage space. Room for 6 city buses. The Condor is the world's largest cargo plane, yet it's...
They've got everything from, more electrical activity right now. We've got lightning in the air, all kinds of activity here, but essentially people are sweeping up. They're trying to get things back to some sort of normalcy, Bob, so very, very confused scene down here right now.
Andy, this is... As you can see, Nashville, Tennessee has been hit and hit hard by not just one, but possibly 2 or 3 tornadoes, and we still have tornado warnings in effect across Tennessee. I want to show you the radar right off the bat and tell you about some of those tornado warnings. This, obviously, the supercell that produced all of the massive destruction across Nashville itself, but all of these individual cells also contain the possibility of tornadoes, and we want to go over those with you. Cheatham County, if you're in that vicinity, seek shelter immediately. Lawrence County, Lewis County, Dixon County in Middle Tennessee, Wayne County, Smith County, I'm naming all of these, Macon County, please seek shelter immediately. A very volatile situation, Decatur County in western Tennessee now. And as I mentioned earlier, we also have some nasty thunderstorms in northwestern Mississippi, where tornado warning is in effect. Sunflower County, a tornado was spotted by a storm spotter. Hardin County in western Tennessee, tornado warning in effect for you. As we look at the Doppler radar, this is a close-up vantage point of Nashville itself. This is the supercell that created all of the damage in the downtown area. As it moves on off towards the north and the east, you need to seek shelter in those areas, in those counties, not only Sumner and Wilson, but points north from there. So if you are in those areas, please hit the deck. Go to the lowest level of your home or business and stay away from exterior walls and windows. That can be a big problem. Now, as we look at what's happening in Ohio and Indiana, I gotta say we had some terrible flooding problems in this vicinity last night, and now heavy rain moving back over the area, so flash flood watches and warnings have been issued. And we had a report of a tornado in this particular area, Sanilac County in Michigan, earlier with trees down. Yeah, it has been a nightmare for those folks as well.
Afternoon, blowing out windows in dozens of downtown buildings, including the James K. Polk building, the Capitol building, and the American Red Cross building. It ripped off roofs and knocked down trees. The governor of Tennessee has declared Nashville a disaster area. Now, the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency is reporting that over 100 people have been injured, but we have some new data here that says that there have been 20 to 25 injuries, one of those critical from the Centennial Park area on the west end. Police are asking that people stay away from the downtown Nashville area and to avoid areas with down power lines. They're also asking to avoid using your cellular phones to try to keep those cells clear. It appears the tornado cut a 3 to 4 mile swath through downtown Nashville. Now, as we have said, the tornado hit late in the afternoon. These pictures are from our landmark television station in Nashville, WTVF. As you can see, employees were running for the basement to take shelter. The power in the building was knocked out, as well as the phones, and the station's fiber link to the transmitter also was damaged. So you can see it's already been a very bad late afternoon to add to what has been a devastating spring so far with severe weather and particularly tornadoes. I believe we have right now on the phone Edwin Hogan, who is the Cheatham County Emergency Management Director. Cheatham County just to the west-northwest of Nashville. And Mr. Hogan, can you tell us a little bit about what is happening in your county now?
Right now things are looking a lot better. We don't have as severe weather as we've had all day long. We've just been sitting on a bomb. Virtually the tornado that hit Nashville, Tennessee first came over our county, and fortunately it didn't touch down, but when it did get into Davidson County and downtown Nashville, it did touch down. Mostly our damage is hail damage. We had anywhere from golf ball size to baseball size hail over in the south part of our county, and we have no report of injuries. We've had several possible spottings, but no tornado that ever touched down in our county, and no wind damage. So we've been very fortunate today.
All right, no power outages then across your county as well?
No, sir, not at this time. We don't have any power outages. We do have water across the road and a lot of flooding on roads. We've just last few minutes have released the students in Cheatham County on the north side of our county have been dismissed. The first tornado warning we got, the students were getting ready to go home, and the school board made the decision to hold them up in the buildings, and that's what they did, and we've just now been able to release them.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan, for taking time out to talk to us about what's been going on, and it looks like Cheatham County may be spared the worst of, at least so far, this particular outbreak. All right, let's show you a radar here. I want to get you up to date on where the current warnings are across parts of Tennessee and on up into Kentucky. We have, again, a radar here to show you as it goes on into motion. I want you to notice that instead of a solid squall line, which is what we had back here earlier, we have all these individual, what we call supercell thunderstorms, which have kind of developed out ahead of that. Now, that is definitely a signature, oftentimes, of tornadic thunderstorms, at least very severe thunderstorms, and we continue to see those as we head on through the evening. Now, I'm going to run down the different warnings which are in effect. In Virginia, Lee County for a storm right here on the right-hand side of your screen. Also in Kentucky, Harlan, Jackson, Rockcastle, and McQuarrie County. That is for these cells right here moving toward the London area. Also in Tennessee, Marshall, Macon, Granger, and Rutherford counties. And we're talking generally this cell, a cell to the south of Nashville, and also down toward the Alabama border. And as we head on into North Carolina, Swain and Jackson counties, although that cell appears to have weakened as it crossed the border and moved up into the mountains. But again, on this particular radar, you can see individual supercell thunderstorms all over the place from Kentucky down into Tennessee. We have some new tornado warnings out. Hancock County in eastern Tennessee, Scott County in southwestern Virginia. I'm sure that's probably from this cell right in through here. National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a tornado 5 miles southwest of Sneedville, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. We also have a tornado warning for eastern Robertson County in Middle Tennessee and Sumner County in Middle Tennessee, and the Weather Service Doppler indicating a tornado 5 miles east of Springfield, moving east at 40 miles per hour. And finally, tornado warning for Pulaski County in south central Kentucky. This is the second time Pulaski County's been under a tornado warning, and the Doppler radar indicating a tornado near Kane's Store, moving east at about 40 miles an hour. So again, we're talking about a wide-ranging severe weather outbreak here. Now, these are all Doppler radar indicated tornadoes, but we are getting a lot of ground truth, so to speak, from a lot of these Doppler indications that there has been damage. There's also been a lot of hail, and maybe a forgotten aspect of these particular storms. Also, there's been a lot of flooding, which we may show you a little bit later on this evening. That is also a major concern that everybody really has to be watching out for. All right, let's go a little bit farther to the north. I want to show you the whole setup here. This one here, this is in Fayette County there, west of the Birmingham area. Some of these cells up here to the north. Explain a little bit what we're talking about when we're talking about supercell thunderstorms.
Okay, supercell thunderstorms are long-lived, typically very long-lived, several hours oftentimes, and a lot of the times they have rotation within their updrafts, and that usually occurs because of some favorable wind shear in the atmosphere in which they are developing. And whenever we have rotation within the thunderstorms, that makes it more likely. It doesn't always occur, but it makes tornadic development more likely with a given thunderstorm. And that's why when we see discrete cells off by themselves that show characteristic signs of rotation, like a hook echo, for instance, or a little notch with a flanking line off to the southwest, which is a thin band of showers, reflectivity off to the southwest, we get worried because there's rotation in there, and that means that tornadic development is more likely with that particular cell.
All right, as I mentioned, we do have some video to show you, and comment on what we're looking at here. This may actually be the tornado.
I think it is, actually. Right now we're looking more into the clouds, and that's probably some rotation at the base of the what we call a mesocyclone. That's just a small-scale area of low pressure that is rotating several thousand feet up above the ground. But if you look more down toward the tree area behind our red and white and blue banner there is some, you can get a sense of some rotation from left to right across your screen, and most likely that is the outer periphery of the tornado. You don't always have to have a condensation funnel cloud accompanying a tornado. Oftentimes you just see the debris cloud on the ground.
Now this is actually from a tower cam here looking, I believe, to the south, and if you look real closely you can see the tornado move on the right-hand side of your screen there.
Right, just entering the screen now, you see bits of debris flying up toward the top of your screen, and again, you don't always see the characteristic very dark condensation cloud oftentimes associated with photographs of tornadoes. Oftentimes you just see the whirling debris and the rain wrapping around the rotation in the lowest layers of the atmosphere.
All right, and I understand that right now we have on the phone with us Kevin Penny, who is the mayor of Nashville's Chief Emergency Planner. And Mr. Penny, thanks for joining us again. And can you tell me what the situation is like now there in Nashville?
We're still at a full activation of our Emergency Operations Center. We've got a multitude of emergency response departments here and the EOC handling the emergency. I'd like to say right now that we have an emergency shelter activated for emergency shelterees, people who had suffered power outage in Davidson County. I'd like to give out that address. It's Lytton Middle School, 4601 Hedgewood Drive. That's on off of North Gallatin Road in Nashville.
Oh, okay. So there are shelters open at the present time. And do you have any update on on the injuries?
Injuries, the Metro Nashville EMS transported about 40 injuries related to the storm, and our local emergency rooms for the hospitals handled those accordingly, and thankfully there were no serious injuries. It's simply amazing that a tornado going through the downtown area like that and heavily populated East Nashville and West Nashville, where it originally touched down, it's amazing that there weren't more serious injuries.
Yeah, amen to that. Thank you, Mr. Penny. Again, Kevin Penny, the mayor of Nashville's chief emergency planner, and we can all be very thankful that there were no serious injuries. All right, Colin, let's talk a little bit about some of the ingredients that are coming together or came together for this severe weather outbreak, and maybe pinpoint some of that.
Yeah, there's a tremendously strong jet stream, Jeff, up about, I'd say 5 to 6 miles up in the atmosphere, and that was definitely contributing. But for the most part, a lot of things coming together. The moisture, tremendous moisture, dew points above 70 degrees at the surface, so that was obviously fueling these thunderstorms as they got going across Tennessee. There we have the upper level winds, and